Hi, this is Charles Wanke presenting my informative speech. I decided to do my speech on the stigma around the stoma. This is an important topic for me personally because I have a colostomy bag. And when I was diagnosed with cancer, it wasn't necessarily a potential for a permanent solution, but as time went on, it became a permanent solution for me, and I didn't know what to expect. And I was full of fear and terror and didn't know how my life was going to change because of it. So there was fear, concern. And so this might help, hopefully, take care of some of those concerns that somebody else may be having about potential issues with the stoma. So first of all, some of the reasons people may have a colostomy bag. Number one, colon, or they may have been diagnosed with colon or rectal cancer or irritable bowel syndrome. And the two different types of colostomy bags, or the ostomy bags, are the one piece, which is the one that I have, which is a removable. Every time that it gets full, you take it off and replace it with another one, or a two-piece, which is actually attached to the skin more permanently, not permanently, but for a longer period of time, and you drain it as needed, and then you fold it back up and seal it, and it's reusable, so you don't have to go through and change it out every time. You just kind of drain it out as needed. Some of the things going into the ostomy that I wasn't quite clear on, but there are stigmas around having an ostomy bag, are leaking. For the first couple of months, I had the two-piece ostomy bag, and it did leak a little bit overnight, and it was a concern. Getting the seal around the ostomy completely tight, it was a little bit difficult with me for that one, so I didn't necessarily like that, and it did leak a little bit overnight when it would be full. Noise, unexpected noise. My daughter here can attest that at some times, the room will be quiet, you'll get kind of a excretion of air through the hole, which is in the front on your stomach. Kind of sounds like you're passing gas and can be a little embarrassing. Maybe the first or second time, but not too bad. Smell. These actually have a little release valve, so that if it does become full of air, it does kind of release a little bit. So on occasion you can get a little bit of a smell, but it's not overwhelming, and it's not anything that seems to be that noticeable. And then the other thing for me was my lifestyle and my diet. What was going to change? How was I going to be affected because of having, a bag that I was unsure of how I was going to, handle those things. And so I guess for me, it's been, because it's a permanent bag, I don't have to watch my diet. I can eat what I want to eat. There's no restrictions. My lifestyle has not been encumbered in any way that I can tell. I've been able to lift weights. I've been able to run, ride a bike. I've been snorkeling, swimming. My activities have not necessarily been limited in any way that I can tell. After about the first 2 years, for me, the bigger concern was actually because of where the incision was for the surgery, was for hernia, because it went through the stomach lining. So the actual physical activity that I'm able to do really had nothing to do with the ability or the durability of the bag and its integrity, which is clearly a concern, or could be a concern. So some of the things that I've had an opportunity to do while I've actually had, over the 2.5 year period of time that I've been recovering from my surgery and from my cancer, I've been able to obviously hike with my dog, go riding bikes. We went on a family vacation to the Old Faithful, which was in Yellowstone. We've been to Mexico. I actually got up on stage and on a cruise that we were on in a comedy show. I went to the University of Oregon, ran around their track for a little while, my wife and I at the beach, and then just here's a couple of samples of food that I've been able to eat. Fortunately, I'm on the other end of that, where my wife and I have decided to kind of watch what we eat, and our diet has been a little bit better, but there was no limitations with what I could eat, what I couldn't eat. I've been able to change the bag at locations that I would have thought prior would have been a difficulty. you know, with a little warm water or heat from a hair dryer, or you could even use the heating vent on your vehicle, your car. You can get the glue warm enough so that it adheres tightly, and then it stays relatively well until it's time to change. So for me so far, this hasn't been a limitation in lifestyle. It's been something that I've been able to live with productively, and don't feel like I'm compromised in any way because of the surgery. So I hope if anybody's out there that has reservations or fears about having to have the thought of having a colostomy bag or ostomy bag, hopefully this will help just a little bit. Thank you.